Okay, not in the second Rambam, to Perek Yudal,
Which one?
Chod Berachot, Perek Yudal.
Yudal? Is it Hava?
Seven,
Which halakha?
oh, it's bad Berachot. Morning, Yosef, good morning.
Joseph.
Please take Rambam, Sefer Rambam, Chod Berachot, Perek Yudal. We started yesterday the topic of Ma'akeh. We ended with the question, which we will come back to. So please look a second at Perek Yud Aleph Halakha Daled. ולמה אין מברכים על נטילת ידיים באחרונה? After the meal, if you eat bread, you have to say, ברכת המזון, you have to wash your hands. Why don't you make a ברכה? מפני, מפני שלא חייבו בדבר הזה, אלא מפני הסכנה. What we saw yesterday, that the type of salt that they use is have chemicals that if you touch your eyes or your skin might endanger your life. So, לא חייבו בדבר הזה אלא מפני הסכנה. ודברים שהן משום סכנה, אין מברכים על עשייתם. למה זה דומה? הרמב"ם compares it למי שסינן את המים ואחר כך שתה בלילה. You're drinking at night, today we have light, and you're sifting the water, maybe there are dangerous species there, שאינו מברך וציוונו לסמן, even though you are obligated to clean it, because you're obligated to protect your life, וכן כל כיוצא בהם.
Similar to me also like in their time not covering the water overnight and drinking water.
This is exactly the same like that. Good. So now, please go a second. We'll Perek Yud Aleph, go further to Halakha Chet. Halakha Chet. This chapter, Perek Yud Aleph, Chod Berachot. Maybe you're going too far because it's only one page.
Okay.
Halakha Chet. We are in Perek Yud Aleph. We read Halakha Daled. Now we are reading Halakha Chet. כל מצווה שעשייתה הוא גמר חיובה. לברך עליה בשעת עשייה. Every mitzvah, as you do it, the mitzvah is completed, you make the bracha immediately. So the Rambam is going to give us examples in a minute. בכל מצווה שיש אחר עשייתה ציווי אחר, for instance, building the sukkah. You can build it 3 days before Sukkot. The structure is only in preparation for the 15th of Tishrei. So there's no bracha when you complete to build the sukkah, even though the Torah does say to build the sukkah. בכל מצוות שיש אחר עשייתה ציווי אחר, אינו מברך אלא בשעה שעושה הציווי האחרון. It's okay, it's like the Rambam is giving us an example. העושה sukkah, why don't you make the bracha upon completing the sukkah? The answer is it's only in preparation for the 15th till the 22nd. Or lulav. You cut the lulav. The Torah says it's the lulav, but it's only.
Ramban doesn't list it as a mitzvah to build the sukkah, I assume that.
Oh, he's telling you here.
I mean, right, we're saying it's not listed in his 600.
Of course.
No.
The mitzvah is to sit in the sukkah. Or lulav, or shofar, or tzitzit. So if I manufacture, I make the tzitzit, I make the shofar. Or tefillin, I make tefillin or mezuzah, eino mevarech. I mevarech only when I press the mezuzah on the door, not when I complete writing the mezuzah. אינו מברך בשעת עשייה אשר קידישנו במצוותיו וציוונו לעשות סוכה או לכתוב תפילין מפני שיש אחר עשייתן ציווי אחר. You realize the Rambam shows examples. It says in my chumash, in your chumash, write the tefillin. So why don't I make a bracha? The answer is there's no mitzvah to write tefillin. The mitzvah is to put the tefillin on. So by writing it, I'm preparing a parchment that when I place it in the right place, same exactly as my sukkah. See? Mezuzah, I'm writing the mezuzah. There's no mitzvah to write, the mitzvah is to place it.
Wait a second, but then there'd be no
But the only way
difference
to place
between
it is
building
in
the
the place.
sukkah for me or a goy, putting the schacha on it or anything, there would be no difference
The
whatsoever. If
Rambam
it-
is talking about building the sukkah. Sukkah is only the sukkah.
Right, okay, so let's say we
The
only talk
structure
about the
doesn't
schacha.
have any sukkah.
Okay, so we're only talking schacha, okay, fine, so we're only talking schacha, but why would there be an importance of putting on the schacha? According to this, it would only be because you're preparing it to sit in the sukkah.
Right? Because the Gemara in Sukkah, Daftet learns it from two psukim. What happened if you have the nicest Sefer Torah in this building? We have 160, but it was not written. The Shem, it's not
No
Sefer
good.
Torah, you can put it in the garbage. I mean, theoretically, right? It's not, you have conditions when you build the structure, how to be considered Sukkah,
Okay,
then you can
so
see.
you want to say to have the right, in order to do the sukkah correctly, you have to have the Jew put the schacha.
Exactly, but this is exactly the question.
You want to say
yeah.
that,
So
okay,
Eli is asking if
but the
mitzvah
goy
is
puts the
already
schacha, it's still
15,
good.
It's still good to cover something from rain or.
No, you're saying if a goy puts a schach, you tell me you're not your
So
tibet to sit in the
the
sukkah.
Gemara says
I'm
the
asking.
sukkah is good, sukkah גן goyim, nashim, קטנים, כשר. לכתחילה you do it, yes? Only as a precondition to make sure that the item, right? But if a woman writes my tefillin or your mezuzah, mezuzah is pasul.
So,
Put
yeah,
it
I
on
got
the
it.
door,
Right.
the door doesn't have mezuzah. Remember, we are preparing here like the item to be used later. So the Rambam says, אינו מברך, אשר קדישנו לעשות סוכה או לכתוב תפילין, מפני שיש אחר עשייתם ציווי אחר. ואם אתה מברך, when do we make the ברכה? בשעה שיושב בסוכה, או כשינענע או ינשק במוליו, או כשישמע קול השופר על ראש שנה, או כשיתעטף בציצית ומקבל yourself, בשעת לבישת התפילין, בשעת, the Rambam is repeating to make sure. אבל אם, here, this is why we read it here, our topic is מעקה, look at the end of the הלכה. אבל אם עשה מעקה, מברך בשעת עשייה, אשר קדישנו ומצוותיו וציוונו, לעשות מעקה וכן כל כיוצא.
What's sha'at asiyah?
Oh,
Right
oh,
before or
Very
right
good,
after?
Very good, Eli. This is a good question. Eli is asking if you put a rail, a fence on your roof, when do you make it? When you put the first brick
Or the
or
last
the
brick?
opposite with the last brick? Sofer says, Khatam Sofer says, by him it's clear, it is the last one.
On the
Other
completion, on the completion.
Acharonim are saying the opposite. The opposite. As you
do
put
it
the
on
first,
one,
what?
if
What?
you do it
What?
on the first one, you might not complete it.
Okay, so but this is the same exactly by every other mitzvah.
Yeah, you said about
When you
anything,
start, how do you
anything.
know?
Right.
Assuming you are starting to build it, and you're planning to finish it. So in a minute it will come to you. You see, I just want you to emphasize that. If you really take the language of the Rambam, like the way it's written, Bishat Asiyah, the Asot is when you build it. That's
Building,
awesome.
I was saying the middle of the TV.
Rishonim, Sefer Haitur. Well, it makes it, it's either the beginning.
Yeah, I know, there's no such thing in the middle, but why I see I'm doing
Or
it.
the end. What
Yeah.
does it mean to put the minute you put the bricks, if it's not completed. So this is, most of the Rishonim agree with the Rambam. So there is a baracha if you put the ma'akel. And what in a minute we'll talk about is the Rambam didn't tell us is the bracha only if you build a rail on top. What happens if you have a dangerous pit on your lawn and you put a fence around? Is this also the same bracha or not?
It depends how you want the pasuk.
We'll see in a minute how the Rambam is talking about Makeh. So take the big book here, open in Siman Tav Chav Zayin. It's easy Siman to open because it's the last Siman in Shulchan Aruch. I share it with Rani.
Rami, did we cover, you say Beracha before or at the end? Did we cover that already?
We are preparing to come to answer this question. Remember, this is Shulchan Aruch Choshen Mishpat.
I'm gonna give it.
David, look carefully, David.
Yeah.
David, listen to this. See this?
Satya.
The last book of the
All the way to
no,
the end.
the last book.
You're
the
closer
last
to the
page,
beginning, all the way to the end. The full is the same as the.
David, you understand? You look always at Simanim. David, look at Kaf. Siman Kaf, Kaf, Chav Zayin. This is the last Siman. Shulchan Aruch Choshen Mishpat normally is discussing business deals, yes, business, damages, loans, but Choshen Mishpat is also how to protect myself and others from danger. So the last topic, Tav Chav Zayin, you have. Says Shulchan, look at the title, Siman Tav Chav Zayin, Mitzvat Aseh Lehasir, to remove כל מכשול, every obstacle שיש בו סכנת נפשות, fascinating, ועשיית מעקה.
What?
What is ו? You're telling me to remove any obstacle means if you have a broken glass and you're near your sidewalk, it's your obligation, not on the street. On the street near your house, it's not your obligation. Same way you're obligated to remove the snow from your sidewalk. Okay, it's clearly that the
Or
Shulchan
cover
Aruch,
a pit.
Shulchan Aruch covering the thing, it's a step. Here, so let's see how he reads it. Let's read. Mitzvat Aseh, the same as Tefillin, the same as Matzah, the same as Mezuzah, the same as Sukkah. לעשות אדם מעקה לגגו, on your roof. שנאמר, ועשית מעקה לגגיך. We read it last week. You have it here?
Yep.
והוא, as long as שיהיה בית דירה, which means it's a house that people are dwelling in the house. אבל בית אוצרות, your warehouse, ובית הבקר, or if you have a pen
Stable or whatever.
stable, yes, and there is a roof there, וכיוצא בהם, אינו זקוק להם, no one lives there. It's only to store items. Remember, you might have a big warehouse, very big one, yes? And there is a roof there, you're not obligated because the Torah says, בגגיך, to your house. But now he continues, כל בית שאין בו 400 פטור ממזוזה. The minimum size. I'm sorry, but I see in the back of my mind, it's the same halacha as
yeah,
mezuzah.
yeah.
What defines a house, a room?
So
A
minimum
minimum
size.
of 4 by 4, which let's say about 7 by 7. So let's say if you have your wife or you have a closet, yeah, a big closet that you put in your bedroom. You have
Walk-in closet.
walk-in closet that has this size.
Needs a mezuzah.
Remember, 4 by 4 doesn't mean it's a square.
Oh,
If you made the total
square footage?
square footage.
Oh, in other words, not dimensions specifically.
So if it's
Square
narrow, if it's narrow and long,
4 by 4 is 860, it's gonna be 8 by 2.
Exactly.
It's 8 feet by 2 feet.
I saw many homes that people have them.
Yeah.
But it's just a concept. The concept is
Square footage.
what defines
Certain amount of bulk is a
House.
minimum.
It's a minimum size. As we mentioned already yesterday, this is a very problematic because if the idea is that you have to remove obstacles, so forget now that this is not a house, right? But if I have a 7 by 7, yeah, if I have 3 by 3, not 7, 8, 4 by 4, and I have a roof, it's still a sakana, yes?
Yeah.
So it's a pillar. I mean, all the acharonim, I have to read in a minute, we'll come back.
But is there a
Rabbi,
folk
if you have-
is there a folk element to this mitzvah?
Okay, we're not going to define it as a chok, but obviously there is on a roof is different than others. I mean, this is what we are aiming. We hinted it yesterday. Yes.
Suppose you don't have exactly the 4x4, suppose you have a 4x3. Would you still put it on without a beracha?
No? The halacha is defining what the house
But if
is.
you want to go for the safety route, nothing with halacha, you could do that to protect anybody who might walk on the roof, but that's.
No, I'm
No,
talking.
Well, he's asking him to solve. So it's the same thing. It's the same. Now,
All buildings today, usually they have flat roofs, they have a parapet anyway, they have
The
something.
only reason you do it is because otherwise you might be sued and you lose
Oh,
all
that's
your
another
money.
story.
So no one is doing it for the sake of it's fine. It's only to
Yes.
protect ourselves. Yeah. Now he continues. בית של שני שותפים, the house is being shared by partners, חייבים במעקה. Even though the Torah says, ועשית מעקה לגגך,
Yeah, singular.
you have to, חייב. Let's say if you have a garment that you share with a Gentile, but פטור from ציצית, even though it's a four-corner
So if
garment.
you took 40, you say with the boy would be,
שנאמר כי ייפול הנופל ממנו. The Torah says build a rail where someone might fall from the roof. Now here is our אם כן, למה נאמר גגיך? So why is the Torah saying your roof? If anyway, you have a partner, you're chayav as well. למעט בתי כנסיות ובתי מדרשות. The shul has a roof, does not need again, in New York State or any other state, including the state of Israel, you do it because this is the law, otherwise you'll be sued. But as far as the mitzvah, why not? What is the difference between the roof of a shul? It says the Shulchan Aruch, לפי שאינם עשויים לדירה. What does it mean? Your house is made to live in. The shul is made to have minyanim, to have classes, to have weddings, but it's not a bayit. This place here, since the Torah says, ki tivne bayit, the definition of the halachic definition of bayit is
Living quarters.
the dira.
it says leave Tivnei Bayit Chadash. Okay, now you didn't build it, you bought a house. You
Yeah,
didn't
good,
build
good,
it.
Eli,
It's not a
asking,
new house. So
is
all
that-
these things, we assume that you need it, or how do we go with that then?
The same as we read when the Kohen makes the announcement, Mi ha'ish asher bana
Right.
bayit chadash v'lo chanachot. Says the Gemara, if the house is 99 years old and you bought it, for you it's chadash.
So new to you.
So new to you is
New to
the
The Shulchan no, the Gemara says it. Even if it's new to you. Shulchan Aruch says if you buy a new garment, most of us, because we live in a comfortable society, we wear only new clothes.
well,
How
how do
about
we-
if you bought
Right,
something
used coat.
used coat? For you, it's new.
Vintage, they call it today. Vintage.
So
20
how do
years
we-
old, you buy it.
Pre-owned.
Pre-owned,
Don't use the word,
pre-owned.
It doesn't exist. Used is
Oh, so Chadash is to you.
So
And
you
how do we
still say
understand-
Shehano. Still say Shehano.
no, the Shulchan Aruch would say Shechia.
Yeah,
If you
if
you are really-
someone
New
gave
to
you a
you.
suit.
if you're really happy.
Yeah.
Here I read last night. It's funny. Last night I read that the Chazon Ish lived in Bnei Brak when his mother died. Unfortunately, she lived in Yerushalayim. He comes to the visit. Most people never saw him. There's no social media. So a fellow says, hundreds came just to see the Chazon Ish. Listen to this. They saw an old man wearing a very old garment and an old hat. People pushed him. He was the Chazon Ish. Why? No, so he says why. Chazon Ish never took a half a penny, not a penny from anyone. When people came to him, we want 5 cents of your book. He said, why 5? You want to help me out? If you need one, take one. Yes. People says, you would. Okay, remember, this is people that kept the world going. I'm using an example for him. For him, this was the coat that kept him warm in the winter.
Yeah.
The fact that me and you will never ever wear it means nothing.
Okay, so you're saying Chadash is new to you.
Chadash is
Okay,
new.
so what does Tivneh mean?
What?
Tivneh, to build. I'm not building the house. Why not use the word acquire instead of build?
You mean why Kitty?
Yeah. Keaton, why should I should imagine I would use the word acquire, I would think, whether I inherit it, I buy it.
But we'll see in a minute he's asking which are
But is it a consensual phrase? I'm buying a house, but I'm building a house, like I'm building a.
No, but you're like asking why should we use the word Tivneh?
You should say use the word acquire.
Also, what, I don't know, probably covered if the house is unoccupied.
It's
It's a house,
No.
This is
it's
going
abandoned.
to be our topic. It's part of our topic after we come to a definition. Is the obligation to build on a roof the same obligation as to put a rail on your porch
Yeah.
and on there was it's not like many years, I could survive a rabbi, he lived in my block, my father was black. No, he was a survivor, he published few books, my father bought the books, this is what he writes in the introduction. He used to love to read the introduction, the person survived. Here it is, he says, I'll never forget the garments that an American soldier gave me after liberation. He says, he was hiding in Hungary. He says, for a year and a half, he had only a t-shirt, underpants. He says, I'll never ever forget the face of the soldier when he saw me, he took I do a take. And he said, did we ever feel it? He said, again, no, I'm saying, it's not there. Baruch Hashem that we have, Baruch Hashem that we can give, but sometimes it's
I'll tell you a story. When I was younger, my mother was a widow. I was the youngest of 6 kids. We were living at home. We couldn't afford a bike.
bike.
My elderly neighbor gave me a bike. It was like gave me a cat bike. I was running around like a king bike, whatever it's worth. So.
Rabbi Kroll has a very good story. A young, really energetic type of a rabbi that really took it as a mission. 60 miles away from Toronto. After a few weeks, he realized if he really wants to have Orthodox people coming, he has to build a shul. Because the Reform and the Conservative have companies. So to build a shul, you need money. So he goes to the bank and he decided he's going to ask 100. This is a guess in the early 50s, maybe like 40, a loan of $150,000. If he says that he's a rabbi of the Orthodox community, most likely would be rejected.
No way.
Because everyone knew that. Anyway, he comes and he says, I'm a rabbi. For sure, he doesn't mention the word Orthodox. And of course, the head of the bank says, which denomination are you from? He's not going to lie. He says, I'm Orthodox. Said, you're Orthodox? Granted. I'm giving you the loan. He was shocked. He says, why? This is what the Goy tells you. I forgot the name of the city. He says, when I was young, there was no social security. My father got killed in a terrible accident. My mother was left as a widow, me and my 2 siblings. He says, during the first week, someone knocks on the door, a Jew says, I heard about your situation. I have a big department store, the old times, you can buy the department store, whatever you want. Buy a hammer, you can buy a suit.
Yeah.
Says every time he tells my mother, you need food or clothing, come to my store. If you cannot pay, take it. If you can pay whatever you can. Says, I grew up 15 years with this Jew. And I knew that he was an Orthodox Jew. Now that you're Orthodox.
Nice.
This is what real Jews are about. I grew, me and my siblings, my mother always said, look, the entire community, he came. He was a Jew that grew up like a Jew, not with a. Remember, it takes a lot of heart of gold. No, so I'm saying, in a minute we'll come to Tivneh. Okay, so remember, Now, look a second here. Look a second, you have commentary on the bottom, Pitchei Teshuvah. See Pitchei Teshuvah,
Right,
it's
yeah.
tiny,
Yeah.
Tav Chav Zayin.
I'll leave it to
David,
you.
look at the
Read
bottom,
it.
David.
I see it.
It says, what?
I see it.
I leave it to him because on an
It's-
angle,
it's
there's
very
no
small.
way.
Yeah, I see it, I see it.
Leila, you cannot see it, yeah?
I can see if I turn it, put it in front of
Look
me
a
now.
second on the
Yeah.
bottom, it says Pitchei Teshuvah.
So tough.
No, it has to be always, every time I point out it's on the same page, because by me, by him also.
Yeah,
You have to get used to it.
Okay, I got it.
You got it? Good. But it should start Tav Chav Zayin. You see the Asot market? Nathan, you have it, Nathan?
He's in the wrong, Siman, Rabba.
Nathan knows everything.
That's right, no, he knows, but I don't-
Jason knows more than us sometimes.
knows much more than us.
Yeah.
Okay, what Spain is doing. This is horrendous.
Yeah, Joseph, it's a private lesson for both.
No, I'm saying, do you see what Spain is saying and what they're doing?
The worst,
It's
the
horrendous.
worst, the worst.
Horrendous.
I read an article that said that October 7th allowed all the anti-Semites to be public about anti-Semitism. It became okay.
Yes.
Everybody was on the QT
Yeah.
anti-Semitism, but now it became okay to be anti-Semitic, almost proud to be anti-Semitic. Each country also is following the same mantra.
British Airways just canceled all flights to Israel.
Who?
British Airways,
Is that because of safety or because
No.
of compliance with the?
no, because of
Gaza.
Gaza.
Well, they just had, I said that they just put a foreign, Muslim foreign minister. That's what they just appointed
In England.
in England.
They're in
Yeah,
big
she's
trouble.
a Muslim. She's a female, I think.
Is it a
I
female?
think it's
They're in very big trouble, that country.
Yeah, not we.
France also went to ban, so
Yeah.
the government collapsed.
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
know.
did?
Yeah.
As again, the prime minister is still prime minister, but the president has to resign now because they couldn't get the vote of confidence. And
Wow.
finances are in tatters. Good for that.
You should know that the Ivy League colleges is the beginning and the
Yeah,
end of.
that's
all
right.
Oh, now I remember, you know why it collapsed?
Yeah.
Because they tried to put in a
100%.
budget. You know, you know, once you're giving out so much money and you can't, it doesn't matter that you can't afford it, so you have to keep doing it.
And then when you cut back on the benefits, people will greatly protest, even if you can't pay for it.
Yeah.
Please stop.
Yeah, I have my grandfather will be someone that his parents are Holocaust survivors. Says, I grew up all the story about the family in America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy is about 80, he says, I should see that. Go,
Saying the page. Before October 7th, there were always latent anti-Semites that just didn't express it. But 87 gave people license to be public about anti-Semitism and almost proud of it.
Right? It's really frightening.
Yes,
It's
so
really
30,
frightening.
40% can vote for the Jews, it's just.
Ridiculous.
Someone told me what he said yesterday. He goes, I'm gonna be very loose on all gun laws and this, that, whatever, because people have a lot of, I don't say the word anger, but they're so upset over what's happening in Israel that they have to let out their aggression.
Who says that?
Mamdani.
He said also, when the police come on campus,
Then he's brilliant. You realize that
Yeah.
he's not talking to you. He's talking to people in the
Yeah.
Bronx, people in Brooklyn.
He says, I'm gonna be very lax on
He's gonna
all
die
type
by
of
those Israeli bombs.
not only just guns, but assault. If you assault somebody, it's okay. It's a misdemeanor. You know,
How about this? He said, when the police come to campuses, the students are less safe. They feel less safe when the police are on
Sick
campus.
people.
The sick
They
man
feel
is
threatened, they
like a
can't
video
protest.
man, you know?
Less.
You see,
If this can happen in New York, with New York's population of Jews, imagine what could happen anywhere else
No, but
in this country.
the answer
In
is-
any
the
city,
answer
any
is that,
No,
you like the answer is that the liberal Jews in New York look at
That's-
you as an enemy.
yeah, that's right.
You are the
You
enemy.
happen to be wrong there, because that wouldn't happen anywhere else in the country.
it would
In the
happen
middle of
in
the country, this
California,
would never happen. They would never put up with this. Only in these big cities that this can
It's
happen.
only because, yeah, we are a bunch of immigrants.
And how
and
those
the
Jews
city-
should put it like that?
You think this would happen in the middle of the country?
It would happen in any
They'll
city,
destroy them.
any city in this country, any.
No.
decent
No,
sized
that's not
city.
true.
No,
It would happen in
not true.
Chicago,
No.
LA.
Okay, you name it.
Those
Blue
cities,
cities.
major cities.
Those
It won't happen in
Major
Jersey.
cities.
It won't happen in New Jersey.
Never like, don't say it won't happen, but unlikely to happen. Hey, it's all the good
Okay.
cities. Good cities.
And someone told me, we had a
Major
student
cities
from
that
the
are not-
University of Warsaw spoke to us about 10 years ago. Someone said to me, tell me that what do you think there is anti-Semitism in Poland? He says there isn't. You know why? There are no Jews.
Wow.
It
Still
doesn't
they'll
happen,
find
it
something.
doesn't happen in New Jersey because the population is not, Jews is not as much as here. The question is, when are we going to see the writing on the wall? And after we see it, what's next?
What, get up and we'll move to Israel?
To
Is
move
that
to
the-
Israel is the
yes,
most
yes, yes.
dangerous place on earth. Move to Israel.
Darn.
So the sick
What's
logic
place
is
up?
What's safe about
Rabbi,
Israel?
nobody-
People coming to
some,
here, it's not happening yet.
some national Republicans want Mamdani to become mayor.
Yeah, well, that's,
Yeah,
I don't
they
like this
want
whole
to be a
theory.
Republican.
They want it to
Ah, these
collapse.
policies are failures.
Yeah.
So the rest of the country will know you can't go with these yo-yos.
Yeah, but we don't wanna,
And we have to suffer
we don't wanna live through that.
That's six
Yeah,
months.
we wanna live next 10 years to,
to pay the price.
Look at the Petchei Teshuvah.
it's like things.
Remember, Petchei Teshuvah is a collection of many Teshuvot and every topic. This is really his job. It was like 200 years ago. כתב הרמב"ם, פרק י"א, which we saw before, וצריך לברך אשר קידישנו ומצוותיו וציוונו לעשות מעקב.
There you go.
ושם כתב, ומברך גם כן שהחיינו.
Oh.
Here it is,
Why not?
שהחיינו.
You get a benefit.
A
you're not-
Kohen, a Kohen in Yerushalayim, the first time that he came to offer korbanot, made Shechianu also. Yes, according to the Rambam, the first time me and you put it for him, we should have said Shechianu. According to the Rambam, the first time that your wife's, my wife, lit Shabbat candle, according to the Rambam, any mitzvah that you start from scratch, Shechianu. Okay?
How come we don't have for Tefillin?
wait a second. אך בספר נשמת אדם, this is 250 years ago, כלל דתבר, כתב, והרמב"ם לשיטתו, this רמב"ם, yes, זה כתב, וגם על ציצית ותפילין מברכים שהחיינו. Here, this is a good example of what you do in this community. The groom, regardless if the wedding is at night or day, takes out a look or raja.
Yeah.
If it's during the day, he says that Atef Shechianu. What's the Shechianu for? For the garment, not for the mitzvah. Because every groom, or at least.
So that's why you could say it at night, because it's for the garment, not for the.
You see, why can I say it at night? Because it's not for the mitzvah. So באמת,
Like a drum.
so Yosef, למה עושים את זה at the wedding? Because באמת, he covers the mitzvah of getting married. You realize? This Shechianu is to cover. So legally, you said the Shechianu, you have a beautiful Korach. Rabbi Zalman Auerbach told his sons, first day they put a tefillin, make sure you wear a new garment
Oh, so
that you enjoy and have in mind that the Shechianu, that the tefillin also.
But Rambam wouldn't have to go through that. He would just
Ramban
go
is saying
direct.
not direct.
Direct.
Say Shechianu.
Hanukkah Bayit also, if you wear a new garment, when you have a Hanukkah Bayit.
The only time I said Shechianu is when I got it's already 9 years, my car, when I opened the car, before I turned the engine, I said, Shechianu, a new car. No, my old car used to be mobile. I said, if someone steals my car, it's a poor man.
So remember, if you're getting a new suit, you're gonna say, Shechianu, you're getting a new suit.
No, but it's not anymore. It used to be. I mean, it used to be, but it's not anymore. I mean, I'm telling you again, we have to be very thankful on the other hand. On the other hand, we're not
Buying a new
appreciating.
suit for some people is like once a week.
Yeah.
You look further. So he says, you know why the Rambam says to say Shechianu and Ma'akeh? Because the Rambam is consistent. You make a mezuzah, you make a Ma'akeh, you make a.
And this implies that at the outset, at the beginning of the mitzvah.
Correct. The
Not when it's
beginning of
complete.
this is the point. A second. We didn't discuss yet. What
When?
is the complete of the mitzvah of
Yeah, yeah,
Ma'akeh?
yeah,
as the market is completely built, or as you start, because you are starting now the mitzvah in a minute. עבר למאי דקיימלן, אור החיים, סימן כ"ב לגבי ציצית, יעיל מברכים, right? Neither of us, when you get a new Korach in Israel, you're not making Shechianu. Uadin b'ma'akeh, אין מברכים Shechianu. Fine, he's telling us not to say Shechianu. Okay. Now, look what he says now. ועיין בספר חיי אדם, דין כ"ד, שכתב, דווקא בעושה מעקר לגגו, here is again something new. Only if you put a rail on your roof, בסדר ברכה. אבל בעושה חוליה או כיסוי לבור. If you are fixing your house and there is a dangerous spot that you are covering or protecting the fence, אין מברכים. Why? You know why?
אין מברכים שחיין או ברכה at all?
אין מברכים ברכה at all. Why? Because באמת, I mean, when we started, we saw the pasuk starts like this. The positive mitzvah is ועשית מעקה לגביך כלים לא מן הרוף. Then ולא תשים דמים בביתך, make sure that there isn't any dangerous.
So the four is only the lav.
Right. He says we never make a bracha if the mitzvah, so to say, is expressed in the law. It's fascinating. Which means, Eli, that when I build the rail, the fence on my roof, it's a positive comment. Yes. But if I am covering,
Avoiding your,
this is
avoiding
only I'm
danger,
avoiding
preventing
the
danger.
lotus. And even though I have a mitzvah by doing it, there's nobody, this is what.
Just for the roof only, like if I have a shoe, people can go upstairs to have
Okay, so we spoke before,
The people know.
and I checked it after one year and we spoke about it. That, I mean, in your house, theoretically speaking, okay, today most of the roofs are made like this. In the Middle East, every house, and if you buy an Israeli apartment on the third floor, which is the last, if you want rights to the roof, you pay another 20%. Because in the summer, in the spring, it's a beautiful place.
Well, you said they dry fruits, dry vegetables on the porch, or they hang
Okay,
clothing.
today we don't do it, but today to sit in the spring, your family on the roof, or you can. So, look further, he says, ועיין בספר מחנה אפרים. מחנה אפרים was written by a Gaon Sfaradi Reb Ephraim Nulis. He was in Izmir in Turkey. הלכות שלוחים, ומי שרוצה לעשות מעקה על ידי אומן גורי, if you hire an Italian to build it, your workers are not going, are not Jewish. Can you make a bracha on the מעקה if an Italian builds it? Normally you would say no, this is what he says. יברך עליו, הוא מצדד שם, מצדד means he takes the position, ושפיר יכול לברך, כיוון דיד פועל כיד בעל הבית.
Yeah, like it's your tool, he's like your hammer.
David is hired as workers, they are an extension of his hand, not shaliach.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no, I'm saying yeah, no, not shaliach. The Gemara says about Mitzvah, if you hire a worker and you tell him, I'm paying you by the hour, what's the definition of my job? Whatever I ask you to do. So you can harvest, you can clean the floor, you can. The Gemara says if the worker found the gold bracelet, it belongs to his owner. Why? Yad Poel, you hear this? Yad Poel, the hand of the worker, is an extension of his master. You see, if he's telling him specifically, I'm hiring you to harvest, right? Then, as a worker, he has the right to quit for 15 minutes and pick up the gold. But if I'm telling you, I'm paying you for your time, $25 an hour, whatever I ask you, don't tell me this is your job. So whatever you pick is mine also. This is the Gemara over there, this concept. So it says the Machane Ephraim, if David is sending his worker to build Ma'akeh, it's as if, again, no shaliach, it's a very fine line.
Yeah.
Okay, look further.
With Abraham, there was a question, could he have been Yad Shaliach for Eliezer?
But the Gemara learns out from it, Shaliach. The Gemara
I mean,
learns-
Yad was not a Jew or whatever.
So now, let's go back to the question we raised yesterday. We finished with the following question. If Shulchan Aruch is telling us, and we saw the Rambam, Shulchan Aruch and Rambam say that after you wash your hands before the meal, you're not making a bracha. Why? Because it's basically, I'm doing it to remove the potential danger, yes? Why am I making a bracha and a marking?
But what, we have Marquez written in the Torah, it's a mitzvah. The
Good,
rabbis
good,
came
good.
up, rabbis came up with
Good,
this
good, good,
sakana
good,
issue
good,
because
good,
of the
good,
salt of
No, 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 no,
Sizzler.
no, 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 no,
I don't say that they,
no, but the
I'm not saying
Torah-
they came up with it, what?
Torah says it. Ki yipol, we read
No,
it.
the Mayim Achronim.
Good, good. So
Is
what
there a
Eli-
basis of Mayim
So
Achronim
what
in the
Eli
Torah?
is saying is one of the great commentators, he said that this. By Mayim Achronim, as Eli defined it good, is even though the rabbi told me do it, but basically what they told me is watch yourself. We are pointing out to you that if you're not washing your hands, you might be in danger. It says here the Torah says to be built. Who cares if there is sakana or not? It's a mitzvah min Torah, the same as tefillin. So basically, the point of the answer that he is giving is, if it's a mitzvah min Torah, I don't care what it is. And even though the Torah is saying, because a person might fall down, but as we saw today, this is not the main reason.
We have the law to cover us. I don't
What?
even if we need. I don't even know if we need the mitzvah aseh because we have the law that tells us in
Eli
general.
is
Don't
saying,
put a.
good, but the minute I'll tell you interesting to support the Ramban and Kiddushin. This is where the Chazon Ish comes up. He comes up again. Chazon Ish is bothered very much. How can you tell me that if the building is less than whatever, 8 by 8, you're patur, but it's dangerous. Says the Chazon Ish with this, that be'emet, the Torah didn't have to tell me to put a fence on the roof. Because everyone that goes on the roof automatically knows that this is dangerous. It says the main chidush, the Torah is saying, even though logically you shouldn't have to do it because everyone that goes up knows. Think about it, yes? Everyone that goes up subconsciously, you go up on the roof, you're looking where's the edge. So the chidush is, even though you don't have to do it because we tell you. So this is why you have the bracha here. Because be'emet, it's not to protect
Logical.
you.
It's not logical.
It's not logical to put there.
Yeah.
Tshuva yafa מאוד. Now, if you hear it very well, you understand why there is a beracha only if you put a veil on the roof, but not when you cover. When I'm covering a pit, when I'm covering a dangerous tool that I have, this is the Lotus. The Lotus said there's
People
no.
may not be aware, so they don't consciously know
Correct.
to avoid it.
Correct. If you
The
want to
roof,
see.
everybody knows the
You
secret.
want to see how far it goes, turn the page by you. Look at Halacha Zayin, Shulchan Aruch. Remember, this is Shulchan Aruch or Mishpat. אחד הגג, עירוף, ואחד כל דבר שיש בו סכנה. How do you learn it?
Yeah.
If you look on the Sman, the comment that they use, it says, because it says, ולא תשים דמים בביתך. ואחד כל דבר שיש בו סכנה וראוי, and it's possible, שיקשר בו אדם וימות, a man might trip over it. כגון, שהייתה לו באר, יהיה בו well, בחצרו. Now remember, Joseph, if someone walks off the street to your backyard and they get injured, no one can sue you. Why?
Your property.
There's no trespassing. But if you invite guests,
Yeah,
it's your obligation
protect them.
to notify them or to build
Safeguard, that's what that is.
So if I have a pit in my backyard and I never invite people
Correct,
over,
correct.
I don't, under the Torah, I don't
Correct,
have to do
correct.
anything.
correct.
I don't have to worry about the random
You
person
hear what
who
he's
might
saying?
stray on my property.
He's saying, it's no trespassing. As a matter of fact, the Gemara in Baba Kama has a whole mamash page. If I gave, he's a farmer, Joseph, I gave him permission to put his bull in my backyard, in my farm, yes. Then his bull was gone by mine. We have to pay or not. Or his bull caused damage. Who has given you permission to keep a bull, pit bull, into my, does it mean I'm giving you the space? Or I'm taking
Some
full
rights.
responsibility for it? It's a machlokes in the Gemara. You know, but you can hear very well.
Why you'd be chayav, sure.
Exactly.
But when you have your backyard open, you know that the children or animals can go there, so like don't
Okay, so
you have-
now Joseph has a
Have a
good point.
gate.
You're saying that none of us, unless you're in certain neighborhoods, would scream at a kid with his baseball flew into your backyard. So if it's accepted and it's legally correct, then here, then you have to cover it because
Yeah. No,
if
I
you have
understand.
kids, if you have kids on the block who are playing ball, yes, and it's accepted unanimously, even though there's no trespassing normally.
It's like the,
But when
like a
kids-
shortcut also.
But remember, a regular shortcut באמת, it's אסור unless the owner.
Right.
The Gemara says if people take a shortcut through your backyard, you have to protest once a summer. Why? Because otherwise, years later, chazakah. People might say you can't keep us out. You
Secular,
cannot build a fence around.
secular law, if a neighbor is using his neighbor's property after a certain amount of years, it's.
This is
They have the right to own
This
it.
is exactly what the Gemara says. Exactly that. The fact that you did not protest shows that you're agreeing.
Or is it the survey that counts?
So survey comes, and then your neighbor now starts to build a little section of his house extending the driveway, and you don't protest. He stays there for 10 years, technically he can claim ownership.
There's a certain amount of years. What?
Or an easement
Even
sometimes.
but that's legislated that way. It's legislated.
No,
So
but
this is-
obviously the law has to tell you.
what they call is a legal term.
Okay, come on. Here, look, let's just finish with חטא. וכן כל מכשול, every obstacle, שיש בו סכנת נפשות, מצוות עשה,
Oh, it's not the same.
להסירו ולהישמר ממנו ולהיזהר בדבר יפה. שנאמר, יישמר לך. Smoking in the 50s, when I grew up, to remember, everywhere, every place, people smoke. Today, Rabbi Feinstein says, whoever smokes is over and there.
So Rabbi, this is mitzvah aseh to prevent people from, as
Correct.
opposed to what I said, we learned just a few minutes ago.
Correct.
So Rabbi, if it's in an apartment building,
Let's go back.
whether it be a condo or a rental, has a flat roof.
Right.
Nobody goes up to the roof, no one has permission to go